Midnight Double Feature presents Bad Crystal, a Breaking Bad podcast. On this episode, we bring you Season 2, Episode 12, Phoenix. Written by John Shiban and directed by Colin Buxton. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of A Bad Crystal, a Breaking Bad podcast. Today we're covering Phoenix, Season 2, Episode 12. Colin, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, dude? I'm glad to be back in the saddle again. It's been too long.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
To the listeners, it'll be a couple of weeks, but to us, it's actually been like 3 months.
It's been like 2 or 3, which it was nice too. Now, I mean, between this and Patreon and the main feed, I'm not complaining, but it is nice. Everybody needs to. We've never taken a break ever, and I think that's what's so strange. Is like even to take a couple of months off for 3 years. In 3 years, we've never taken that much time off, and it's like, you know what? If anybody deserves it, because you're on all the episodes, you edit them, you post them, you do most of the socials, and I was like, yeah, let's all just fucking, maybe let's go to part-time for a month,
And dude, I don't get paid shit for it, so there
right.
you go. You know what? The labor hire here is fucking ridiculous. I don't even get dental.
Yeah.
My teeth look like shit.
It's a labor of love, but yeah, even then, it's like, okay, I'm gonna take a break.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here at Bad Crystal. Like I said, we'll be going through Episode 2, Season 12. Sorry.
You motherfucker.
Episode 12, Season 2. Holy shit. Of Bad Crystal. Breaking Bad, rather. Holy shit, man. I am rusty this morning.
Yeah.
I am a rusty.
Like Tin Man over there.
Morning.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, it's just like, exactly. It's just getting the back in the saddle, in the saddle again. Like, holy shit. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be going through it. Our socials are right there. They're all in the show notes. I'm not going to plug them. Only thing I'm going to plug is our Patreon. Like and support the show. If you like what you're hearing, we're an independent podcast. We don't have advertising or anything like that. We don't have sponsorship, but we do have our Patreon, which is where we ask our members to come together and donate $5 a month. In return, you get exclusive content like bonus episodes and some other fun shit that we're in the process of cooking up. So head to patreon.com/Midnight Double Feature to support the show. All right, let's get into this episode. This is a big one. This is a biggie. This is no slouch. This episode. Give me your thoughts, because I don't know if you knew that this was going to happen at the end of this episode.
I did. So I knew it was going to happen at some point. But here's the double whammy in that is obviously, I mean, we're talking about Jane dying. Spoiler alert, by the way. No, but no.
If you're here and you're not, then you didn't say. That's a spoiler. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, yeah, that'd be like if I've never, listened to a Breaking Bad podcast. If I jumped into like episode 6 and they were talking about like, hey, what the fuck, you're spoiling it. And like, no, that's not how that works, bro. So I knew it was happening at some point. I didn't know when, and that's really actually the false. Like, I feel like I got sucker punched because I knew it was going to happen. So I was like, okay, there it is. And then it was like right in front of me. And I was like, oh, whoa. And so it's like, we're doing this now? We're doing this now? We're doing this now. Okay, we're doing this now. This is happening.
Are we fucking?
Yeah.
We're doing this.
So Lindsay, Lindsay and I were watching it, and she just happened to be in the room, and she was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess if you want to watch the show now, that's completely ruined. So yeah, it's definitely a cool episode, again, because it encompasses almost every single character. This is one of the highest points of this season so far. It's very character defining for a lot of characters. And it's really interesting just to see kind of this baby has been like a big part of this coming up. So it's now that it's here, the old challenges are kind of gone, but now we have new challenges as well. And now there's another actual human being here that you have to be, accountable for. So I think that's definitely going to make the show a lot more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a giant turning point for a lot of characters, and especially Walt. But this is such a poetic episode. Just the fact that Walt, has a beer with Jane's father as they're sitting there at the fucking bar, dude. Like think about that for a second. Let's just take a step back and think about that for a second. This guy's having a beer with the father. They're talking about children, right?
Yeah.
They're talking about raising children and the problems that come with that. And then 5 minutes later, he's directly, and I'm just gonna straight up say it, he's directly responsible for her death. Dude, don't fuck with me on this, because yes, she injected the heroin into herself. If you see someone and you do not act, that failure to act is murder. Do you
think he'd get charged for murder in the U.S. courts?
I think it'll be tough, but yeah.
I think if it were a jury, hell yeah, a jury would be like, you're a monster,
The elements are there. You need the intent, and I think the intent was there in this case. For sure. He definitely, we'll get to that moment where we're spending a lot of time on this.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why this is a big episode, and that's probably why.
Exactly. But he absolutely hesitates, and you see the moment where it turns for him in his head, and you're just like, oh shit, he's purposely not going to save Jane. So like I said, I think the elements are there for murder, and I think he is directly responsible. This is Vince Gilligan's moment. He's come out and said this.
Okay.
I
thought you were going to bring this up.
Interviews. He's come out and said this in interviews. He's like, this is the one moment where, to me, Walter breaks bad. If I had to choose a moment where he breaks bad, this is the one.
Okay.
And I think I agree, right? I mean, what moment up until this moment in the show is there where you think that Walt breaks bad?
I know there's one that we kind of discussed. I mean, there's it's kind of like, what is a tremor and what is an actual shake? Or an actual quake. And I think tremors are when he blows the guy's car up, when he goes after the guys who are picking on Walt Jr., shit like that are kind of like the small kind of quivers. But the actual whoa, fucking, I'm trying to remember, there was one and it's driving me crazy, but I haven't really recapped on the previous season. Might be when he goes to fuck up Tuco and them for fucking up Jesse. But other than that, I think that this is probably the real moment where it's okay, now it's not just you acting out and getting revenge on somebody doing something petty. You're actually interfering in people's lives and shit like that. Now you've taken this beyond self-harm and fucking up your own life to actually bringing in unwitting participants,
Absolutely. And this is also Bryan Cranston's hardest moment that he had to shoot for the entire show. He said, I'm a weeping mess. In his book, from memory, his autobiography, he said that he, to get into this kind of mindset, he imagined his own daughter.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's just, someone told him, imagine your old daughter. I can't remember verbatim, but, here we go. He said, in a split second, Kristen's face lost all characteristics, and out of that came the face of my real daughter choking to death.
Man.
That's intense, man.
I tell you, when it started happening, hard as a rock. Hard as a rock. No, I'm just kidding.
You just had Full Sail. Yeah. He said, so after the director yelled cut, Cranston let his emotions out. He said, I'm a weeping mess. Fortunately, you have your family around you. And I went to Anna Gunn, and she held me. So, there you go.
He puts a hand around her throat. He's like, I'll do it again.
This is how I get over it, bitch. What do you say we get into this episode, man?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So we kick off with Walt scrambling to make the meeting on time at this bombed-out hotel. He talks to Marie on the phone. After that wild cliffhanger at the end of last episode.
Mm-hmm.
He talks to Marie on the phone. Skylar's had the baby while Walt lies about being stuck on the freeway. And we cut to Walt arriving at Skylar's room, frantically apologizing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Walt meets Holly for the first time, his daughter. And she's been born at this point, right? I mean, like he's missed the birth of his child.
Yeah,
Which
and they
is,
just kind of
which
that's
is
they
yeah.
kind of. I mean, I thought that this would be way more of like a. Ooh, like you really fucked up, but they kind of just hand wave a little bit, and I was like,
they throw it away. They throw it away.
Yeah, I would say if I were like, I'm waiting for the Skylar, where were you, Walt moment, like where is that? Because it's definitely not in this episode. Maybe it does come, but I just really thought that it was going to be, an element in this one. The thing that's interesting is that they actually, the location he dropped some money off at is a Call of Duty map. No, I'm just kidding. It looks like it'd be some like South American
verse me at Rust. I'll see you at Rust.
Yeah. It's like team deathmatch on Amarillo. Like something really crazy. But yeah, just I thought there'd be more there, and the turn, and it's like there's oh my god, I'm fucking blanking on his name. Her boss. Ted, I almost said Tom. It was almost comical. It was almost like a Shaun of the Dead cut where they cut over and there's Liz and David
Dude,
or whatever.
That pan is like something straight out of like Arrested Development. Arrested Development does that all the time when you think two people are having a conversation by themselves and you like pan out and there's Buster.
It's not that I don't like David and I mean, guys, it's not like I don't like you. No.
It's good, man. That pan is so good because like it also like first you get the reveal that the baby's been born without Walt, and then it's like you pan over and it's like, oh shit, Ted.
Right.
Ted drove Skylar to the hospital. Now, like, not only are you really starting to lose the grip on your family, the people that you actually started doing all of this for, but Skylar is now beginning to trust other people more than you, and that
right.
is.
Well, and
that's telling.
Part of me wondered, I was like, is this kind of hinting at something? Like, is this trying to hint at something else? And it's like, I don't know enough of I don't know where Skylar and Ted were 9 months ago. I have no fucking idea. I know that there's definitely some kind of history. There's definitely something going on, but I don't really know exactly, part of me was like, is this some kind of weird, is this trying to tell me something in future episodes where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, Holly's not your daughter. Like Holly is Ted's daughter. Like, I know that's probably not what happens because that's bad writing. That's my writing, but that's what it felt like panning over like that,
That's like dramatic soap opera writing, right?
Right. Well, and it looks like when you look at it's like if you had to guess who were the man and woman in a couple, it would look like Ted and Skylar, not Walt and Skylar. Walt looks like a uncle or something.
He's one of those uncles.
He does.
That, if you're a little girl, he just gets a little too close to you, right? Like he starts hugging you a little too tight. And
yeah.
too long.
All right, Uncle Walt, get your big hands off me.
So Skylar tells Walt that Junior changed his first diaper, which is interesting because even Junior is manning up in Walt's absence, right? I mean, Walt's fucked off to God knows where, and Junior's stepping up, right? I mean, like it's not all just about breakfast anymore.
You ever change a diaper? Breakfast.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's funny that you asked me that because girlfriend's sister had a baby not too long ago.
Oh, nice.
And she had to babysit literally last weekend, and I came over and visited her, and she goes, "You want to change the diaper?" I'm like,
do it already. It's good. It's good to know how to do.
I fed the baby. I was happy with that.
That's cool. The easy part. I don't have any babies. I've been an uncle since I was 9, and I was like, "Give me that shit!" Just cleaning babies up. Like, get in there.
You're a giant baby, anyway.
No, yeah.
Walt arrives back at the White residence and reveals a huge duffel bag full of cash.
Fucking choke a shark with that shit,
dude. It is obscene how much money he's been given. And he frantically rushes to store it away in the walls, right? And then we cut to title card.
Oh,
boom!
That just the shot of the money opening up is just like you just feel like there should be like the what is that song? By Rolling Stones, the Ray Barna. It's just a shot away. It's just a shot away.
Just a shot away.
It feels like
just a kiss away.
Yes,
it's just a kiss away.
It feels like something out of Goodfellas,
It does, yeah, absolutely. And like when you look at that amount of cash, like immediately my first thought comes
Give me
to
Shelter. God damn it. Sorry, that's
Give
what
Me
it was
Shelter,
called.
yeah.
That's going to drive me
I
crazy.
mean, like that's in every Scorsese movie.
Right.
But like my immediate first thought when I see that bag of cash is, okay, so you're done. You don't need to do this anymore, right? Like, I mean, like it's just that one-off. I mean, like one-off deal. Like you've got enough cash
Right.
to last the lifetimes of Junior and I keep saying Anna, Skylar, and Holly after you pass away. You don't need to do this anymore.
Well,
right?
then
Like,
you're not
there's a
even
level-
really on death's door like you were before. They're
Exactly.
talking.
Like,
They're
you're in
way
remission.
more optimistic about your condition now. So yeah, double. It's like a double negative. There's every sign. All the stoplights are red now. All stoplights
Right.
are red. Like this is
There's
it.
no need to keep going. Absolutely. So Jane's missed a call from her father. She lies saying she overslept, missing his support group meeting. Dude, I love how she just looks around casually and just says, somebody broke in.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so, like, casual. This stirs Jesse awake, and he freaks the fuck out when he sees that the meth is missing. And then we cut to the support group meeting. Jane's attending with her father, anxiously turning the 18-month chip in her hand while she's listening to sobriety stories. Her father doesn't want her working at the tattoo parlor, saying that she needs to avoid those kinds of places. She asks him about his job. He responds with, they're hiring anybody now. I mean, no experience at all. It's scary. What do you think the significance of this is?
I don't know. And I was like, is he a pilot? Yeah, I guess that'd scare me too, you know? There's something, like fucking bus driver, he's a pilot. I'm really not sure. As I could just sit, it could be chopped up to small talk, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, I thought that he was I really thought he was going to be like, oh, they're hiring, like wink, wink, like get in there, come get a job. But it just, again, my shitty writing, it just didn't go that route.
They get her into seeing Jesse, right? She lies. She lies saying that she's not seeing him. Why would I get involved with a tenant? She says.
Here, I'll be completely honest with you. She's the worst part of this episode. Like acting wise, I hated it.
I think it's because they needed Christian Ritter to do this dramatic turn into that junkie kind of like mindset, that relapse mindset. So like she was really great up until. Because I do somewhat agree with you. She is a little, she's putting it on
shaky.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
there's definitely some parts where she's like, why would I do that? I'm not doing, and it's like, dude, even Lindsay, I was like, am I? And she's like, no, it's not just you. I was like, okay, I just want to make sure. Like the parts where she's badass and she was like, yeah, okay, this is fucking blackmail. I'm like, cool, dude, that's awesome. But it's, there's conversations with her dad that just, they don't come off as real effective to me.
I think she's definitely very, like you said, very shaky. Like she's afraid that the father will find out the truth, but she's also trying to downplay her level of addiction. I think, right? I mean, like there's that too, right? Like I'm not back off on the wagon again. Off the wagon, on the wagon.
Everything is this attitude of just like, no,
yeah,
no, it's everything's
like
got this. Yeah, exactly. Right. I think that's what I don't like about it.
Baby Holly has arrived at home. Jesse calls the home phone number. I love Walt being like going to the phone. Whoa, beat ya!
Yes, dude, that's so good. I'd love if he kicked his leg out from under and he just hit the floor.
Sweep the leg.
That feels like a Naked Gun, like Leslie Nielsen just kicking the leg out from some kid with crutches.
It's just so funny to watch Cranston like navigate his phone call. Right? Well, Holly. 7 pounds 3 ounces. Everybody doing just fine. You junkie imbecile! What the hell are you calling this number for?
It feels like you're like going kayaking and you just hit the cliff and it flattens down and like, oh god.
It's like you're talking to Jekyll and Hyde on the phone.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Like it's just Jesse freaking out, right? And Walt, dude, Walt at any time here can put the poor guy out of his misery. Right, but just instead decides to hang up because that's Walt. He wants to teach Jesse a lesson, right? Like, and Walt's okay. Look, Walt's a cunt when it comes to these kinds of things. Like, Walt is like Jesse. You fell asleep. This is what I imagine his mindset is. Jesse, you fell asleep while guarding the entire stash. This is on you. Now I'm going to teach you a lesson about being responsible. Like,
Right.
you know, like he'll take that kind of like stance, that moral stance, and like he kind of has no right to, because he's just as bad, almost, like, you know, in his own way.
Yeah, I think that it's good to hold his feet to the fire and really make him kind of sweat. Like Jesse needs to feel like, oh my God, man. And you really need to feel that there's, you know, if Walt had just been like, oh, don't worry, I got it, Jesse really wouldn't really have, I guess, learned anything.
Accountability. Yeah.
Right. But, you know, it's like, right. I think Walt is kind of like, if you're in there doing heroin, if you're doing that kind of shit, then I need to make you kind of, you know, I need hope maybe this negative of an occurrence happening around you being high on heroin will scare you away from it. And that's well and good and all. But once he finds out and he's like, you know, I'll give it to you once you piss clean. It's like, no, I'll fucking kill you if you don't give me that shit. And like, that's my point of view, is like, if I want to go OD on $480,000, you know, that's Jesse's right. You know, it's like he earned that money. At this part, I get making him sweat, because he is like, you were a moron. You don't even check the messages that I've left you. They're right there in front of you. And he's like, and you do need to kind of sweat a little bit and just kind of, you know, really kind of think, because Jesse hasn't really made a lot of great decisions over these seasons so far. Very few times is he really like, he's always one step forward and two step backwards. And I think that Walt's just kind of like, dude, we can't keep Pat sliding, you know?
But here's the thing, right? Like, while holding like Jesse accountable for this and like not telling him, Walt's also not considering like the other element of this, which is what would Jesse do in response to this? Like, you know, in response to him like being like, fuck, I lost the entire stash. Like, what happens with him dealing with this guilt? Like, is he going to do something drastic? And, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying, like Walt doesn't know the other side of this or what's going on in Jesse's head. Like, he might hurt himself, right? I mean, like, that's a consideration, but he's not that kind of person, so I don't know. Spitballing here. So Los Pollos Hermanos is catering their dinner tonight. The look on Walt's face is priceless.
Oh, yeah.
When they bring out the Los Pollos Hermanos. Walt talks about an alarm system for the pool. Hank and Marie offer to gift it for them. That's incredibly generous, by the way. Do they know how much these cost? Holy shit.
I don't know. It sounds like somebody's embezzling there, you know, Uncle Hank. there's something. Yeah, he's been selling
the proceeds of crime from the old safe.
He's like selling like people's gold teeth and shit. He pulls out of their heads at crime scenes. That sounds like something he would do.
That totally does sound like something he would do. This is when Walt finds out about Skylar's plan to return work. We need to think about what's the best for the baby. Money-wise, we'll manage. This is the difficulty, and this gets into something really interesting, dude. This is the difficulty of Walt having money, but being unable to use it to provide for his family. Achieving the actual objective that started him on the path, but being unable to, like, actually use it. Like, you know, now it's
water everywhere, not a drop to drink, you know? Like,
right, absolutely.
Yeah.
The fuck was that, by the way?
Water everywhere, not a drop to drink? You never heard that?
No.
Have you really never heard of that? Water everywhere and not a drop to drink?
Yeah, you know, saying it more times won't make me understand.
Well, I don't know, because I was saying it kind of fast, but like, wow, yeah, I'm very surprised you never heard that before. Because even in The Simpsons, you know, where they get stuck on the raft and they're out in the ocean and water's like, it's like water everywhere. Let's all have a drink, and it's like, no, it's not. Let's all have a drink.
Oh, I remember that. I remember when he walks into Krusty Burger and just orders 1,000 cheeseburgers after Krusty Burgers after that.
Yeah, and Homer's like listening to Rod's tape about ice cream, like on the beach, and he wakes up and he's like all sticky and shit. That's a great episode. Let's watch The Simpsons. Okay.
Oh, we should watch The Simpsons. We'll be here, fucking dude.
Yeah,
that's an infinite podcast.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's podcast. 38 years worth of podcasting right there.
Right, but what do you think of that? You know, while having the money and being unable to actually use it for his family.
Water everywhere, not enough to drink. No, I'm just kidding. That is kind of, you know, it's the thing that you ultimately strive for, and the thing that you work so hard for is like in order to keep appearances, you know. And I think it's further kind of pushes Walt to be like, this is why I don't need to be Walt anymore. I should just be Heisenberg. Then I could do what I want. I don't have to worry about the subterfuge and the duality, and like I could just leave all this shit behind. I think this definitely pushes him closer to that alter ego.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Good Good read on that.
Yeah, water, whatever, none of to drink, and
Son of a bitch, dude. I'm gonna go to bed tonight thinking about that. Like now, it's just gonna be stuck in my head.
I'm just gonna go home and write it. Water everywhere, and not just add like drums and bass.
Dude, that to me now is my 1, 2. Freddy's coming for you.
water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. Oh,
so this scene ends. This scene ends pretty wildly, dude. Like, Walt's showing Holly the stacks of money lining the walls, right? And he's like, that's right. Daddy did that for you. Holy shit.
It makes me think of an old, I know everybody hates him now, but Louis C.K. bit where he was talking about waking up in Italy and he brought his daughters there for something and he opens up the front door and there's all these wild Italian ponies like running around and he's like, girls, and he wakes them up and the girls go outside and they're like, and he's like, and in my head I'm just going, I'm the best father, I'm the best fucking father. Yeah, you see that? Look at that shit. Look at it. That's immediately what it reminded me of.
Give me the credit.
Yeah, hell yeah, right? Hell yeah.
But that's also Walt, right? Like, Walt wants credit. Like, you know, Walt is like, Daddy did that for you, right?
Right,
I did that for you.
There you go, yeah.
Jesse meets Walt at the school. He figured out that Walt took the stash. When have you never not dropped the ball, Jesse? Walt looks at Jesse like he's a junkie, even continually calls him a junkie. And Walt says, you made me miss the birth of my daughter. Interestingly, right? He's deflecting.
It's not a bad deflection though, where it's like it is kind of like you could have just sold it to somebody else. Like, and I know that's nitpicking, but that is a point where it's like, well, it's like when I needed you, you were not there, and it's like ultimately that is I don't know. I think that trumps any kind of like, it was my day off, dude. It's like, dude, when I needed you, you were not there. Like that's
sure, but putting that on Jesse is a pretty big deal, right? I mean, like, you made me miss the birth of my daughter. Jesse didn't know that that Skylar was, you know, in labor. Like, Jesse didn't know like all of these like surrounding circumstances. Like,
if this were a normal person, you know, unless I'm at work or you know, unless I'm in something where it's like, dude, I literally cannot get out of it. It's like, you could call me at work and be like, hey, I need you to come do this. And I would somehow find a way out of it. But it's like you physically incapacitated yourself to where I could not call upon you. It's like, that's, you know, it's one thing if you're in the middle of something and you got to bail and find a way out of it, but to just not even be physically reliable. It's like, that's a whole other kit and caboodle.
But here's another thing, right? Walt also entrusted Jesse with the entire stash, right? I mean, was there never a plan to like, you know, if somehow both of them get access in case something happens to the other person, right? I mean, like, you think there would be some kind of contingency plan, right? Like, some kind of
public spot, you know,
right? Yeah, like maybe like bury it out in the desert or something. Like, get like a drum,
go like hollow out a tree or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, you'd think there'd be something like that. I mean, like, considering how much meth they have, but you know.
It's like me and Danny and a couple of friends bought Rock Band, you know, when it first came out. Yeah, we bought meth. We bought Rock Band, then meth. Let me tell you about it. But the interesting thing was we had it at a friend's house and we were, you know, at that friend's house every weekend and we just left it there because we knew, hey, we'll be here next weekend. You know, we left it at my house. There's no fucking clue when you guys are coming back over. So no, you know, it's like you got to put it in a mutual area.
Forward thinking. But like, you know, and like that might be, it might be an oversight on the writer's part, which it probably likely is, but it also kind of also at the same time informs us about these two characters. Like, they're not super forward thinking as they want to be, right? Like, we kind of like know these guys already, so it's kind of like, you know, viable rather, that these guys wouldn't be thinking that far ahead.
Right.
So Jesse finds out how much money they made and he wants his money. Walt laughs at the request. He says, you are joking, right? If I gave you that money, you would be dead inside a week. Jesse pleads with Walt, saying that he's clean, but Walt's not having it. Piss in a beaker, and if he's clean, he'll give him his money. Walt calls Jane a junkie, and that sends Jesse over the edge, and he smashes the beaker.
Yeah, Walt's, I mean, again, totally, like, if I want to go and fucking overdose on this shit, like, I'm not saying that makes it okay, but it's like, you know, this is his shit that he's earned. It's a free country. Like, and I, you know, ultimately that's that's just my kind of my point to it is where it's like, again, like if Walt were like, I still need you or something, if Walt had some kind of selfish ulterior motive, and I think he might still have, I think he does care for Jesse.
I think there is still a bit of like,
yes,
this guy's still my work partner, and she's really affecting him in a big bad way.
Right. This third party is interfering now.
Yes.
And I think that part of it is genuine care. I think part of it is a business thing. But at the end of the day, Walt doesn't really need Jesse anymore. He can cook it himself. He can sell it to Gus, and now you're done. You're not nickel and diamond anymore. You lose your biggest liability and claim 50% more of the profit. So like, there's something there that's not quite, that I don't think Walt is being quite honest with himself about. But again, it's like, dude, that is his fucking money. There's no way. That's not your call. You're not his dad. Give him his fucking money. Like, that's outrageous to me. And I was like, this is a bridge I cannot cross with Walt.
Yeah, I agree. Walt teaches Marie, puts Holly on her side in case she decides to split up. And this tells us exactly.
Yes. That's what Walt I kind of thought.
exactly what to do with Jane's life, right? This is such an amazing piece of foreshadowing. It's not even funny. Like, this is so good. Like, that Walt actually goes out of his way to tell Marie, hey, put Holly on her side so she doesn't choke on her own vomit.
Yeah, that's
so good.
That's creepy. There's a lot of interesting like parallels in this episode. Fathers and daughters and babies and death. A lot of cool shit.
We see this website that Junior's created. It's incredibly sweet, right? Like SaveWalterWhite.com.
It's Walt's OnlyFans. Mustache rides for $12.99 a month.
It's just Walt in his tiny whities.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Just him cooking with like cooking food with that green apron on, and it just like takes it off as he's cooking and shit.
Send me tips.
And fucking Sky's pegging him, because he's a bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Jesus.
That's terrible.
I can see it.
I can see it.
To Walt, this would be incredibly demeaning, right? This website, especially knowing that he has more than enough money stashed away, right? Like, and like he kind of like reacts in that way, like when he talks to Saul later, like he's just like, man, like it's so depressing to me, like that my child has to go out of his way to raise funds for me while I have the funds. Literally, I have the money.
Well, yeah, and like I mean, it's kind of ends up being a blessing, to what to do with it. But at the same time, it's like I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be like, cool, awesome, and like, whatever, that'll work. Yeah, like you earned most of what you have. Like you still have your pride, and you can keep the the secrecy.
Like, does he have, because like he has his pride. He doesn't have the recognition. He wants the recognition.
That's true. Right. And that's a whole other thing is like that goes beyond pride. That goes beyond, wanting to flaunt your success to other people. That's the big thing I feel like is him, flaunting that kind of, I want other people to know how successful I am. It's not enough that I know. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
It's the difference between experiencing something, a good meal, right? And then there's the experience. And then like posting that meal on Instagram and being like, look at how good this looks, right? Like, it's,
right.
It's like you can have this moment to yourself and know how good of a meal you made and you enjoyed. And then, you're just like, no, I'm going to post this on Instagram and show everybody so they know how good of a chef I am, right?
Right.
Why do you? Oh, so Skylar pleads with Walt, asking him to keep it up, keep the website up. Why do you say charity like it's some dirty word? Right? I love that. I love that line. Again, Walt's pride is showing through. He doesn't want charity. He doesn't want to be helped. And then Walt talks to Saul about the website, right? What good is money that doesn't spend? And they brainstorm. They talk about Uncle Murray, no go, right? Uncle Murray.
That's good.
Saul is so good. Saul is just like a shot in the arm every time like he pops up.
Yes.
Walt says it cannot be blind luck or imaginary relative that saves him. He earned that money, which is incredibly interesting. Like his like mindset here. It's not that it has to be. It can't be blind luck or imaginary relative because that's easy to trace. It's because he wants the recognition.
Right.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
this is your having your cake and eat it too. You don't want to get caught, but you want everybody to know that you didn't. Like,
Right.
it doesn't work that way, man.
Right. Like, I love that that's the consideration, and not, nobody will believe that. Like, he wants the credit. Saul comes up with the golden idea. This is a fucking genius idea, by the way. Funnel the money little by little through the website. Fucking genius. Like, actually genius. Credit to the writers for this. This is crazy. Jesse's venting his frustrations with Walt to Jane as they fire up another shot of heroin. She doesn't understand why Jesse needs Walt anyway. Hell, I'd be mad too if someone owed me $500. No.
Yeah.
Or 180,000. And then you start to see that Jane's wheels are turning in her head. Oh,
yeah, and what's interesting is, she also does the same thing to Jesse, where she puts him up on his side, so he's not on his back. And there's something interesting about, seeing her as soon as he says that, she's like, oh wait a minute, whoa, hold on. She's immediately jumping in there to try and figure out, basically the whole story to this. And this is when I'm really like, man, fuck this character. I fucking hate this character from here on out. And it's like, she's always she really is just kind of telling people what they want to hear to get to, to get to a spot she really wants to be. And like, the whole thing with her dad, and she's like, it's interesting because her dad really is just genuinely trying to make sure that her head is on straight and trying to make sure that she doesn't fucking kill herself or ruin her life. And she acts like this is just such an intrusion. And it's like, you still don't understand like your dad's intent. Like, I understand you, being judgmental in that situation doesn't really help anything, but you have to understand the intent of like where he's coming from. And as soon as she got the money, she's like, nobody can tell us what we're going to do anymore. It's like, you fucking moron, dude. You have learned nothing, like it's such a pity.
From a writing standpoint, I'm interested because like she is, you're right. She's not an incredibly sympathetic character, right? So like we end up kind of like hating her or like, resenting her. But like her only purpose and function in the story is that Jesse cares about her, right? Like, I mean, like she is important to Jesse and nobody else, including the audience. So like,
Right.
I guess like from that kind of like perspective, she works pretty effectively.
Let me ask you this. If she doesn't die, if she stays on for like a whole other season, what do you think happens to their relationship? You think they get married? Do you think, they just break up? Like just, yeah, see, me neither. I don't see it going 6 months that this is not a couple anymore.
I think they still stay together. These are not people that get married. I think they probably would go to New Zealand, but, just probably shoot the rest of the money up their arms.
This feels like such a fly by night kind of operation. It just feels like a few episodes ago is when Jesse moved in. I know we're, fucking 12 episodes into the season now, but it does still kind of feel like, this is not like we're in love. Like we love each other and we're in it. It just feels kind of like a major infatuation and like the giddiness of when you first start a relationship, but this doesn't feel like anything sustainable, I guess. This doesn't feel like something that's kind of enduring. That's kind of what I read. It's very surface level kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially this watch around as well. Like it's not so much Bonnie and Clyde, right? Like, it's us against the world kind of thing. It's more about
Beavis and Butthead.
Right. But like, here's the thing: like, they understand each other, and I think that's what each of them have been kind of like looking for, right? Like, I get who this person is. I get who this person is, because Jesse, up until this point, is a lonely guy, right? I mean, like, he's relatively lonely. He's not one. I mean, look, he goes and fucking gets like Wendy's from Wendy at the Crystal Palace every few.
Yeah. I was like, so when'd you go get a burger from Wendy's? I don't remember that. And I was like, oh wait, Wendy.
So yeah. The next day at another meeting, Jane's father waits for Jane, gives her a call to which she uses the old "I overslept" excuse again, but turns out he's already there. He busts in, surveys the state of Jesse's apartment, finds the heroin, attempts to throw Jesse out. Dude, one of my favorite moments in this entire scene, Jesse with the bat. Hey, I pay my rent, bitch. I got civil rights.
He's not technically wrong.
This is hard to watch. This is as hard to watch for me as it is the final scene.
Hard as a rock. No, I'm just kidding.
Because, like, dude, her face is so red. Like, you can hear, like, the disappointment in her father's voice. Like, he attempts to call the cops, but she talks him down, agreeing to go to rehab first thing tomorrow. This is where Kristen Ritter is great, I think. I think she's fantastic in this scene. Dude.
Very
like,
good.
She's
I enjoy this.
Good. This is a guy at the end of his tether, right? Like, he's heard all the excuses, been through the ringer. Interestingly, the same position Jesse's parents were in earlier, like this season.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Super interesting.
The parallels, man, I'm telling you.
100%. Really reminds me of like earlier in the season. Jesse asks Jane whether she's meant all of that, to which she responds, I don't know. I just know if we had enough money, nobody can make us do anything. Skylar picks up the phone in the kitchen, one of Walt's old students who wants a letter of recommendation, but turns out it's Jane talking on behalf of Jesse. Jesus, get somewhere you can talk. Dude, I love... She comes in with the authority real hard, right? Real hard, real quick.
Yeah.
She wants the money, and I actually genuinely believe she wants it for both of them, right? She doesn't want to run off with the $500,000.
Right. No, I don't think it's that bad, but I definitely feel like Jesse's getting used. And I think that's part of why I hate her here. Is like, I definitely feel like you are being opportunistic and manipulative. I really hate that, especially for Jesse. Jesse is, genuinely way more emotionally invested in this relationship,
Mm-hmm. She's blackmailing, knows everything about him, where he works, knows about Hank, dude.
Ugh, that's fucking spooky.
That's a big call. Do right by Jesse tonight, or I will burn you to the ground. Jesse's feeling a little regretful, asks Jane whether she'd actually go to the cops, and she says he'll pay. Walt sits in the dark listening to Skylar sing Holly lullaby, and he's pondering his options. He's so deep in thought, dude, like even when Skylar comes out, Walt packs Jesse's half of the money into a duffel and heads over. Jane answers the door. She tries to grab the bag, but Walt only wants to give it to Jesse. And I love Jesse approaching the door with his head down, again, seemingly regretful about the way things have happened. Mm-hmm. And Walt just goes, nice job wearing the pants. Walt says that Jesse's making a mistake, but Jane slams the door shut on him. Right? That's his... Yeah. I think I'm in agreement with you, dude. Like, this is not going to end well. If what happens to Jane doesn't happen, it doesn't end well, I think.
No, yeah, 100% correct.
Jane says this is freedom, right? I can go anywhere I want, be anyone I want to be. Is New Zealand a part of Australia? Okay, Jesse, you know what? Let me sit you down here, son. Jesse, take a seat right here. Let's talk for a second. New Zealand a part of Australia? No. Those sheep fuckers. You think they're a part of Australia? How fucking dare you, dude? Is this what Americans think? This is actually...
honestly, as a kid, I probably thought that.
I've been asked this question a few times. Like, dude, I'm just like, no, they're two separate nations. They got two different governments.
Have you seen that TikTok of the guy who's like, he's on a chat roulette or Omegle or whatever with this girl, and he's like, name
Omegle?
5.
I thought it was Omegle.
Omegle, thank you, whatever it's called. I've never been on the fucking thing, but he's like, name me 5 countries in Europe. And she goes,
Don't you
Moscow? I was like, Moscow? I was like, I mean, it would take me a minute to like make sure. I just wanted to make sure, I'd have the right houses and stuff, or the right, the right names of countries and shit. But it's like, Moscow? Really?
Wait, in Italy, dude, you can count them off easy. Like Italy, France,
Europe.
Germany. Yeah. Italy, France, Germany, Belgium.
You said 5 in Italy, and I was like, wait a minute. That's like 5 in Italy.
Wait, did I say 5 in Italy?
Yeah, you said 5 in Italy. And I was like, wait, hold on. Are we talking about like regions in Italy now? And there's to the northwest is the Gabagool, and to the bottom.
I can probably name you 5 in Italy.
You've been there, haven't you?
No, I haven't been there. Calabria, Sicily. Venice City. Vatican City is another one. That's 3. Oh shit!
Shut up your face. That's a good one.
You gotta talk with the.
You gotta put your hand. A bibbity boppity boppity boopity. Family Guy sketch.
Dude, we went to a gelato shop the other day, and it was like fully like Italian. And Steph ordered something, and I was like, "No, you gotta say it in Italian, god damn it!" And then like I was like, "You gotta use the fingers," and she fucking started getting
You got a bibbity boppity.
I'm bibbity bobbity. All right. So Jesse says he wants to be a bush pilot. They make plans to go. First, they got to get clean. They're not going to shoot it up in their arms, says Jane. Right? They shoot what they've got left. What do you think about this? Right? Like Jane's kind of like determination to get clean before they go, and not use the money.
Admirable, if not completely
pointless,
hollow. You know,
hollow. Yeah, hollow might be the right word. Yeah, absolutely. Walt stops to grab a drink before he heads home. He lies to Skylar, telling her that he's pulling into Walmart now. And there's Mr. Margolis right here. Well played, says Jane's father, sitting right next to him. This is such a chance encounter, dude. And it's just such a crazy thought.
I love it because these don't really happen a lot in the show. There's not a lot of like, definitely not any Deus Ex, like somebody gets their nuts pulled out of the fire by a magician or something. But it doesn't really add anything to the plot, but it adds a lot to this, like this, I guess, just the story. I don't want to say the story, but it just adds a lot to like the character relationship. You just see those strings being kind of worked, like a puppet. It's interesting.
No, absolutely, man. Like the idea of like, I had a beer with the guy whose daughter I'll be murdering in 10 minutes without even knowing it. Like we talked about our children. We talked about loving our children, that they'll be who they are, regardless of where we try and push them. Like the idea of that is insane. Walt talks about that frustration that goes along with raising children, that the parent knows best. And he says, you can't give up on them. Never. Oh, sorry, that's what Jane's dad says. You can't give up on them. Never. This spurns Walt to head back to Jesse's to check in. The advice that... listen to this. Listen to this. The advice that Jane's father gives Walt may have almost saved her life if Walt were a different person. Think about that for a sec.
Say that one more time.
The advice that Jane's father gives Walt may have almost saved her life if Walt were a different person.
Well, I mean, yeah, if Walt were fucking a different person, of course. He could be a magician. Like, I mean, he could be a clown. Like
the advice that her own father gave him. Like, it's like, here, take this worldly advice, do with it what you will. Hold up, I'm going to take that advice and go save your daughter. Like the idea of that is like...
Well, and I think it's Walt just putting, what he does is Batman Begins. I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you, which is a lot. I know a lot of people still consider that, it's just killing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, in a court of law, there's no way. You can't force somebody. It's America. I don't have to save anybody. I don't want to. I think it's fucked up he doesn't do it, but I don't think you can get away with that shit, Like, I don't think you could prosecute. That's interesting. We'll talk off air about this. This is interesting. Now I wonder if there'd be a case. State of Arizona versus Mustached Man.
Failing to act is also a thing as well. Like that is.
Well, we learned that from the Seinfeld series finale. They got busted for the Good Samaritan thing because they didn't intervene. That guy gets robbed.
Oh god, that was such a bad finale. Holy shit!
I can't imagine what they do if you didn't save some fucking bitch who was choking. All they did was make fun of a hefty guy on the side of the road.
That's right. That's all they did, right? Holy shit!
Right. They like videotaped it. They're robbing him, and they're like, "Hey, he's probably doing him a favor. I have to actually like skip a meal or something like that." I was like, "God damn, dude!"
I can't remember anything about that finale except that terrible like pan out, like in the final shot, like where they're just like zooming out and they cut to black, and it's like, "What? That's it? That's Seinfeld? Okay, all right, I guess."
Beat Sopranos is ending. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh, man. Like, you know what? My brother's currently watching it for the first time, and like, I keep going over, and like, he's watching it, and I'm like, oh god, like he's gonna fucking hate the ending. I just know he is. He keeps telling me how much he loves Sopranos, and he's like, it's so good, it's so good. And I'm just like, just wait, dude. Just wait.
Yeah, just wait a minute.
Walt tries to wake Jesse from his stupor, but is unable to, and well, we all know what happens here, right? Like this is the moment, right? This is, in my opinion as well, the point of no return. Like you've killed Crazy 8 because you kind of needed to in that moment. Like Walt kind of like justified it in his own head. Like, hold up, Crazy 8's about to kill me, so I got to kill him, right? Like that's it's a survival thing. Sure, the reason that he's in there in the first place is not survival. It's because we needed to fucking keep these guys prisoners, right? But like, this is something different. This is cold-blooded. This is calculated. Walt makes a calculated decision. Like, you can see it on his face when he decides not to save Jane. And initially, his instincts do kick in to save her, but he stops and thinks. He even cries afterwards, right? Which is very much like Walt, where the human parts of him kick in for a second before, like, reverting back to the cold-blooded monster that he is, right? Like, this is so insanely well done from a character standpoint. Just like what we already know about Walt is that after he does what he does, he will regret it for just a little bit, and then he'll be like, "All right, it's time to steel myself, time to get back into the thick of it." Right?
Right. Yeah, there is this kind of like lose a soldier, win the war like type thing. He's a very like, okay, cool. Well, now that that's over with, I can go back to business as usual.
Absolutely. But that's it, man. That's episode 12, Phoenix. Where do you think we go from here in the finale?
Oh, I don't know. Obviously, there's going to be a pretty huge fallout. I wonder if Jesse will have any suspicion towards Walt, but then I really wonder what's going to be going on with Skyler, because eventually that dam is going to burst. Something's going on there. There's a lot of like tension where like he, between her and Ted. Walt's still not being honest about where he is. She hasn't asked a thing about where he was when the baby was born. He just said he was stuck in traffic, which is okay. I guess it's believable. But just what I've seen out of her so far, I feel like she would have pressed that a little bit more, at least asked a couple of questions. So if I had to guess, I'd say those would be my left, right, of what I think would be happening next.
Okay. All right. Admirable. We'll see if you're right next week. Or actually, you know what? I've been releasing. I'm not sure if you noticed. I've been dropping these episodes every 2 weeks. I think it's just because of our unexpected sort of like hiatus. Like we've just kind of like I've just been like, all right, guys, look, sorry, I'm going to drop these every 2 weeks. So, audience members, if you're listening to this, I think we should commit to that a fortnightly episode.
Yeah, I'm down for that
because it gives us some breathing room as well. Like, we've got a lot going on with bonus, with the actual main feed as well. So I think it works. And, people are still definitely listening. We're not like, losing like listeners here and there. So we're hoping that you guys stick with us. We hope that you guys are enjoying Bad Crystal as it's still going. Because, we want to commit to this for the long run until we finish the show. And then hopefully when we get around that kind of like end of Breaking Bad season, the hope is to move into Better Call Saul. But we'll see. That's a different conversation.
El Camino, all that shit. Absolutely.
Fuck yeah. All right, guys. That's the episode. That's Phoenix. Colin, do you have anything else to say before we head out of here?
No, just thank you guys for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll be back at you in a couple of weeks with, I don't know, probably something like Santiago.
It's actually, you think it's called Santiago?
No, I don't know.
Season 2, episode 13, the season finale is called ABQ.
I was way off on that one.
Santiago. Holy shit, what a fucking racist.
What an idiot. I'm just kidding.
We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for listening, guys. See you next time.